Coby White scores 37, and the Chicago Bulls get a take-care-of-business win against the Charlotte Hornets, 131-117. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Hayes, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this game for today. And Josh Giddey and Coby White combined for 60 points in this game. 37 from Coby White, going 12 of 16 shooting from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 6 of 8 from the three-point line. This is one of the more efficient games that you're going to see from Coby White today. 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, only 1 turnover. Coby White came in and was the best player on the court, as he should have been. And it was really good to see Coby White, shake off a quiet first quarter to just come out at that point and turn it up. He had a 20-point first half of basketball, and then he came out in the second half and put up another 17 points. This was a really nice game from Coby White as a lead scorer. Again, it's against the Charlotte Hornets. You want the Bulls to do this type of stuff. Not going to act like the Bulls did anything earth-shaking or groundbreaking here. No, they didn't. They did what, like I said, like I like to call it, it was a take care of business win by the Chicago Bulls, and that's all it needed to be against this Hornets team. You just wanted to see the Bulls come in and just take care of the business and move the fuck on at that point in time. And that's what happened, right? You look at also every single starter for the Chicago Bulls scored in double figures, and then Patrick Williams as well off the bench. But let's talk a little bit more about Josh Giddey. 23 points from Josh Giddey, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal in this game. He did have 5 turnovers, but like I said, 2 in the second half, 3 in the first half. It is what it is there. But Josh Giddey, near triple-double. He was 7 of 13 from the field himself. He got to the free throw line 8 times, hit 7 of those. He was only 2 of 6 from three-point range, but like we said many times with Josh Giddey, it's about what do you do when that three-point shot is not falling. He got to the free throw line. He distributed the ball really well. He rebounded the ball really well. Our second leading rebounder on the team today. Really good output from Josh Giddey in 34 minutes of play from him. Then you got Nikola Vucevic with his double-double, 16 points, 11 rebounds. He now becomes the second highest double-double guy in Chicago Bulls history, passing up Scottie Pippen tonight. So shout out to Nikola Vucevic, who's had not a long Chicago Bulls career, but to pass up the number of double-doubles, Josh Giddey's on your heels, though. Josh Giddey's definitely going to be up there with double-doubles when it's all said and done for the Chicago Bulls. But Coby White with, as many 35-point games. I think he's had 12 30-point or 35-point and more games this season. Really good production from him. You got 10 points from Buzelis with 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, a crazy reverse slam dunk in this game. Also, 13 points from Kevin Huerter. He played his role, 5 of 8 from the field. You love to see that. 15 points from Patrick Williams, as I said, off the bench, 6 of 8 in his 27 minutes today. And we got to see the bench guys. Exactly what I wanted to see happen today is what we saw happen. Everybody came in and handled it. And that's just what it is, man. And you just got to handle that business and take care of it. And it is what it is. All right, first of all, because now I'm about to bully you. See, this is where bitch-ass motherfuckers come in at. Don't come in my chat talking no shit, defending another grown man who me and him have already hashed it out on a live stream. And actually, we're planning on working together in the future. So, Tyrese, don't be crying like the actual Tyrese, because I promise to God I will make you and your mother cry forever, birthing you, if you decide to come in my live stream on some bullshit. So watch yourself. This ain't PC. I will absolutely cook your ass and make your mama's ovaries feel the pain of you getting cooked. Watch yourself, all right? So now I'm disrespecting you. What you gonna do about it? Now, with that said, now that we're taking care of that part of the business, right, let's focus back in on the Chicago Bulls and how they took care of business today. Don't fuck with me. The Chicago Bulls shot 53% overall from the field, which is really good 44% as well from three-point range. They took care of business in just about every single aspect of the game. 60 points in the paint that they did, 26 points on fast break, 15 points off second chance points. They led in every single one of those areas, only 4 behind on the bench points, though. That was really good to see when it comes down to it. The Bulls came in here. They played really well, man. The turnovers, 12 turnovers in the game. I would love to really see those turnovers be lower, especially against a team like the Charlotte Hornets. But they did what they needed to do. They out-rebounded them. They had 26 assists on 46 made baskets. You love really seeing what happens when you do that. 131 points scored, man, by the Bulls. That is a major output by the Chicago Bulls, man. They had a 46-point second quarter, a 36-point fourth quarter. The Bulls took care of business, man. And that's just what it's about, man. You want to come in here and take care of business. And, that's why I keep labeling this. This was a just business win. You needed to come in here and do that. That's it. Like, you don't need to make it interesting against the Charlotte Hornets like you did against the Portland Trail Blazers. You needed to come in here. You're gearing up for a play-in run. Give your starters an opportunity to rest and then see what's going to happen there. And that's really it when it comes down to it, man. As long as the Bulls do that, this is going to be how the Bulls continue to play, man. And that's all what it's about, man. So, let's hope that the Bulls just, the Bulls, I don't ever want to gas up wins over teams like the Trailblazers or the Charlotte Hornets, right? I do like to look at the process on how they got the win. And that's really the important thing in how they got the win. Attacking the paint, setting up guys, getting everybody involved. We're seeing more off-ball movement from the Chicago Bulls than what we've really seen under any tenure under Billy Donovan consistently. And that's really what you love to see, man. As long as the Bulls can continue to do that, that's going to be how they make their bread and butter. Whether it's, the success rate that they're going to have is going to vary as they're still learning and still having players that are thrust into those type of roles. And as they do that, things are going to get better for the team, man. And they got to continue that path, right? And so the Bulls haven't always been a team that have done the best at taking care of business, right? I think for anybody who's a consistent Bulls fan watcher, they understand that. But this is going to be a team that just needs to continue to just go through that process, learn, grow, and then we'll see what the playoffs hold for the Chicago Bulls. Hey, Hayes, do you think Josh Giddey could be a candidate for most improved player? I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think that, right? This is not a negative on Josh Giddey. This is more how most improved voting works. Josh Giddey being a player that was on a team that had conference finals expectations, I don't think that the voting committee is really going to look at him going to a lesser team and scoring more and having a bigger impact as being kind of as improved as some of the other things, right? So, again, and that doesn't take away from how good Josh Giddey's season has been. He's had a great season for the Bulls, and he's gotten better as the season went on, but I don't think he's going to be in that conversation for most improved. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a few votes, but I don't think he's going to be probably even in the top 3 of those votes, unfortunately. And that's just, there's a lot of minutia and narrative that plays into the most improved player of the year award. The way that it comes, like, if we're going to be real, right? Kind of the best way to describe a most improved player of the year award, it really comes down to the player that's playing the best while on a rookie scale contract. That's really the way that it works, right? You look at even the year that Cade Cunningham won most improved player. Like, should he have really? And that's not a knock on Cade, but it's like the expectations that he had coming into the league, like it's one of those things that play a part into it. So I just think when it comes down to it, and we'll see what happens, man, to say, what it is, man. Yo, hey, Steve-O and Big Kev was hating on your name. They said all the nurses at the hospital you were born at was asking why your parents named you that on the live call. Steve and Kev know not to try that with me because their parents picked their names are Kevin and Steven. Like, they have the most generic white man names in the world. Like, I get it. Shout out to them. And listen, the thing is, you would think that with basic plain names, they would have good jobs, but like they still have basic jobs as well. So like Kevin, Steve-O could try to hate on whatever they want to and talk that shit. But like people named Kevin and Steve, like they really can't talk about names because their parents they probably named them after the doctors that birthed them if they're talking about those type of things. So, you really can't really get into that, right? It is what it is. Big Kevin, Steve-O wouldn't dare say that while they were on the live call with me is what I'll say. So, I'm going to send them a message real quick and invite them on. But it is what it is there. Let's keep it pushing. Glad for the win. We didn't like how sloppy we were a bit. Got dragged down a bit to the Hornets' quality, but I'm focused on our next game against Cleveland. I don't really think we got dragged down to the Hornets' quality. I think that just like we brought in bench players, they did let their foot off the gas a little bit, and that is what it is. But I think the score was only as close as what it is. You got to remember we were up by over 20 points in the fourth quarter of the game, but at that point we had all of our bench players in. And that's what it comes down to. So, let's go Bulls. Great to be back on the show, Hayes. Missed a lot of content this week due to work, but C-Red, good to take care of business today. You think we could clinch the 8 seed? I mean, it's definitely a possibility. So, we'll see what happens there. Great game from Patrick Williams this afternoon. The Carolina boys showed up well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they did. They showed up today, especially Coby. Patrick Williams, shout out to Patrick Williams for having a good game. I'm always going to be real. When he has a bad game, I'm going to critique him on it. But when he has a good game, we're going to also say that he had a good game. He did have a really good game and played an important role for the Bulls today. So this was the type of game we used to lose. I wouldn't say all that, but we would have definitely allowed it to be closer. THC played like he dropped a 20-piece. Then I saw he only scored 5 points. THC played like crap today. Giddey can be in the running for next season if he averages what he's been averaging since the All-Star break over the whole season, and I think he can. I agree with that. I definitely agree with you. He's averaging because it's like 22, 8, and 8 since the All-Star break, something like that. If he averages that for a whole season, he definitely will be in contention for most improved player of the year. You just got to keep it going. Let's see. I just want to look at what he did. So since the All-Star break, Josh Giddey's been averaging 21.6 points. He's been averaging 8 rebounds, 10.5 assists. On 49% shooting from the field and 46% shooting from three. Even if those numbers from three don't maintain, if he holds that, he's definitely going to be in running for most improved player of the year. That's for sure. Average 21, 11, and 10 second half of the season. No, it's not. That's not what he's averaging. It's down some since then, but he's still averaging really good. He's still doing really good numbers. Assist a few more points per game, and Josh Giddey could win most improved player and be in the MVP discussion next year. He's not going to get in the MVP discussion. The Bulls would have and that's not just a knock on Giddey, but he's not going to get in. Let's be real here, bro. To get in the MVP consideration, your team has to have above 50 wins. Still don't see that for the Bulls as the roster stands right now. You have to be one of the top probably 4 seeds in your conference. Don't necessarily see that happening as things stand right now. And you got to be the number one. And I don't think he's going to be the number one scoring option. So I don't see that happening, but we'll see what happens there. If Patrick Williams will get out and run, he would score a lot of his points very easily, especially when you have Josh as your point guard. I mean, but the thing is Patrick doesn't know how to operate in space. He's always been terrible at that. He doesn't go to the right spots in space on defense or offense. And it's unfortunate. Now, when he has the ball in his hands on a fast break, he makes some things happen then because he's a really decent passer. You have to play him for that big body potentially getting to the lane. But, I mean, just to be 100% honest, he's just never been a guy that's amazing in fast break. He just hasn't been. Now, maybe with an offseason of fixing that, you never know, man. When Modest puts on 15 pounds, he's going to be a problem. We'll see. UConn winning right now. Bulls win today. Hayes cooking someone. It's a good day. It is what it is. I couldn't catch what Billy was chirping at Buzelis about. I do like him holding everyone accountable more frequently this year. That is a really good call out. All jokes aside, I still think there are times where, for example, Vooch gets a pass defensively at times. I don't think he's held accountable as much as he needs to be. But yeah. Bulls team beating the Cavs in the first round. No, they're not going to. No, they're still not going to beat them. I don't trust the Bulls to beat the Cavs in the 7-game series. I just don't. That Cavs team is a team that's been in the playoffs for years. They're one of the most efficient teams on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So I don't see that happening, man. I don't see that happening. Do you see a world where Coby White can become the Jalen Brunson leap? Obviously not as large, but take that step into top 20 player. Is that kind of unrealistic? Here's the thing, Vikram. I've learned in this game to never say never about anything. There's always a possibility for stuff happening, right? No matter how unlikely that it seems, there's always a chance of it happening. You look at Coby White and what he's done since the All-Star break. I think if Coby does that for an entire season, you're probably talking about a guy who is top 20, 25 players in the league, right? It just comes down to Coby White and how consistent can he be in what he's been doing since the All-Star break, right? Getting to the free throw line when the shot's not falling, making the big shots when he needs to, right? Really stepping up for his team. And Coby's always shown flashes of that, right? But he'd have to do that consistently for a full season. Basically, what would have to happen, right? To just put it into layman's terms, is that the season that the way that Jalen Brunson stepped up hugely in his first season in New York, that's the season that Coby White would have to have next year for the Bulls. That's the season that he would have to have next year for the Bulls. And if he can have that season, great. He'll definitely be in that conversation. But he will have to have that level of season for him to get into those conversations. So, like I said, I'd never say never, but you got to show it, right? So he's not going to get there off just, riding off the momentum from this week. He's going to have to, or from the end of this season, he's going to have to go out and show that he can do it for an entire season. And I hope that he can. You know what that does for the Bulls' future? Like what that does for the Bulls, the outlook of the Bulls' future, if he really can do that for an entire season. If Coby can play like this for the entirety of a season, that completely changes everything for the Chicago Bulls. Everything for the Bulls. If Giddey and Coby do what they're doing right now for the entirety of a season, it's no longer the scrappy Bulls. It's no longer, hey, they're similar to the baby Bulls. No, that's a team that's competing for a top 6 seed. That's what that team is. So, let's hope that they can do it. And if Modest takes a leap as well, right? We'll have role players like Kevin Huerter and Zach Collins for the entirety of the season to really start off and see what they can bring. We'll see. And I hope that's what we're talking about next year. I really hope that that's the conversation that we're talking about next year, because it would change a whole lot. But again, I'm realistic, so I'm not going to make that an expectation. I'll make it a hope right now, and we'll see if they live up to it and make that a reality. Patrick Williams has only one more move in his dribble bag, and that's the infamous in and out he loves to do. I'll say this, man, though. There are a lot of players that have very, very limited dribbling moves that can still be successful, right? You just got to know when to use it at the right time, right? And what do you do other than that? How do you get to that move being a more effective move for you? And like I've said for many, many years, for Patrick Williams, it comes down to you got to move without the ball. That's really what it comes down to. If Patrick Williams ever becomes a consistent, let me cut, let me drive, let me cut. If he does that consistently, you're talking about an entire different Patrick Williams as far as impact, as far as play, as far as expectation. He just does. You know what it is? Pat has no bag. He has no bag. He's just a big player that can defend well, but he has no bag at all. And it's very difficult to be a productive NBA player when you have no bag beyond a role player. So, and even nowadays, like we're seeing as much skill as it takes for even a role player has to have a bag nowadays. Patrick Williams has zero bag. He's okay in a few things, but he ain't got no bag. And until he develops that, it's going to be rough for Patrick Williams to really be an effective player consistently in this league. Pat, as an example of why drafting one does scare me, his feel for the game is lacking. I completely agree with you there. Completely agree with you there. So much of this team's failings can be traced to Pat's inability to consistently average four. No, it can't. That's just stupid. No, like this team's failings comes down to a lack of overall defense, a lack of creative offense for a long time. Our best players were very individual isolation players where it left a lot of players outside of not involved in the offense when they need to be. Bad play calling down stretches of games. You can't blame a whole entire failure of a team on just one player. You can't do that. Hayes, he has a bag. The Bulls have failed him. No, he doesn't have a bag. Sorry, you don't start the majority of your career and you have a bag. He doesn't have a bag. He doesn't. As a matter of fact, the thing that would have been in his bag defensively, he's gotten worse defensively, considerably worse defensively. So no, I disagree with that. Pat ain't got no bag. Pat failed himself because most players that performed at the level that Pat has would have gotten benched a long time ago, permanently. But he gets an opportunity every single year to come into the game. I mean, he got that $18 million back. That he did get. Hayes, any chance you can do a deep dive into the Giddey Herter combo? I saw something about them having the best offensive net rating since the All-Star break of a guard duo. Well, Kevin Herter doesn't play guard here, so that wouldn't be correct. And I already did that when I talked about the best duos in the league. So Coby and Giddey doing this all season make Bulls a 3 seed. Your wish is your command. You hope 30 for 34. First of all, can you spell correctly? 434, bro. You can't spell out FOR. It's killing you to do that. And we got 36 and counting right now. We're top 3 in Coby MVP discussion. No, what the fuck are you talking about? That whole did you have a stroke? That's not even a coherent thought. Like, did you bump your head and then start? What the fuck is that? What did you just type in here? We are all stupider for reading that comment. Try again. What people probably mean to say is that the ceiling of this team didn't get raised sooner because Pat never lived up to his number 4 potential. But he's not the sole reason why they have sucked. Yeah, but you can't even blame that, right? I think the Bulls failed him because he put on the weight he don't need. Who's responsible for that? That's not the Bulls' responsibility. That's him and how he works out. That's him and his nutritionist. Bulls are keeping pushing base for a good spot in the playoffs. These guys are still delivering. Miami Heat's game will be the one. That's going to definitely be important. Definitely be important. Patrick Uncle must work for the Bulls. He has to, seriously. I don't know if this is C-Dub and Bobby, but first of all, either one. The fact that Kev, Bobby, let's just go through the names here. Kevin, Bobby, Charles, and Steven. Literally, they sound like the names of goddamn tax reporters. Like they sound like IRS workers. Had the nerve on their live stream to talk about my name. Let's just be clear. So we're trying to roast for originality, yet all 3 of you guys have the whitest names possible, and all of you guys have bad credit except Bobby. Like, what are we doing here? Like I can't believe the fact that that 4 of the most common names in America, right, had the nerve to talk about my name. Like that's just weird, right? There was no originality. Like your parents named you after the people that gave birth to y'all, and y'all got the nerve to talk about my name. Let's just be real here. They sound like they should be the Beatles. Like that's what they sound like. Charles, Kevin, Steven, and Bobby. Like, come on, man. You sound like a boy band. Like you sound like you should be the backup, the stunt people for NSYNC. Is this what we talking about here? That's crazy. That's wild. Rookie year, Pat Williams attacked the basket more. This Pat messes up his dribble anytime he drives. Now, that is true. That is true. You can call me Chuck. You really want to be called Chuck? After Charles Barkley, one of the most retarded people in the world? Is that what you really want? Boys out here with 800 credit score names and slum credit scores. What are we talking about out here, my boy? What are we talking about? That is hilarious, man. Never I expected Hayes to cook his own. Oh, it's all in love. That's the thing. It's all in love, bro. Like, those are my people. I don't have to worry about, and I'm not offended by them either. It's all in love and fun, man. Those are my boys. It's all in love and fun, man. They sound like the 4 tops. LOL, no Diddy. That's crazy. Pat is never getting off that bench until he shows some kind of heart. He looks bored when he is on the floor. No, I think that's just Patrick Williams' demeanor. I don't think he's actually bored. Like, I think Patrick Williams just has a whole hum presence. Like, he's just there, right? Like, he's just there, my boy. It just is what it is, man. Family cook each other is part of life. Exactly. That's just part of life, man. It's part of its terms of endearment, really, is what it is. Is Jalen Smith recovering from something? He's covering from a case of the Billy Donovan rotational itis. That's what it is. The Billy Donovan rotational itis, because Billy Donovan doesn't know how to use a rotation of that many bigs. If you ain't cooking your friends, then y'all ain't homies for real. Exactly. Like, if your friends ain't never cooked you, You're not friends. Like literally, me and Pat the designer, every time, like if I was to call him on the phone right now, the very first thing we do every single time is roast each other. I'm talking about the first whole 3 to 4 minutes we're on the court. On the phone, we're just roasting each other. Now, Jay Capone, I understand that your legs don't work very well, but I know your brain got to work better to come up with a better joke than that. Hayes, a lasagna last name? That don't even make any sense, Jay Capone. Your you use Capone, and you talking about a lasagna last name? You sound like you should have a pinky ring on and a bow tie, my boy. Come on, my boy. Get it together. Tighten up. Tighten up. Is Billy a true Hall of Famer? College for sure, with his back-to-back championships at Florida, which is why it's time to have an NBA Hall of Fame. No, it's not. It's a basketball Hall of Fame. You don't need just an NBA Hall of Fame. It is what it is. You just got to understand what it is. Hold on. Y'all want to hear me call Pat? Hold on. Let's call Pat real quick because y'all will see literally the first thing we do every time we get on the phone is roast each other.
What up, you know?
What up, you light-skinned baboon face bitch?
What's going on, man? You got to be 3 syllables, man.
3 syllables? I was calling because I was telling they were like, you're not friends if you can't roast your boys. I was like, every time me and Pat, the first thing we do when we get on the phone is roast each other.
Oh, yeah. We said some wild stuff.
Yeah, facts. All right.
Are you live right now?
Yeah, I'm live right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, bro. I'll let you, man. All right. My name may be common, but your ass got okay. Is that a negative to be diverse? Like, come on, Steve. Now, Steve, I know you're better capable of a joke than that. Come on, bro. You got to do better than that. Come on, man. Come on, do better. Like you can't be walking around here looking like Southside Drewski without being able to roast better than that, bro. You got to do better than that. Come on, man. Jay Capone definitely got a mixtape online with only 4 people who have streamed out of here. Oh no, Jay Capone's another one of my guys, man. It's all love. Jay Capone is literally one of the boys here, man. Like, so no, he didn't mean anything by that. Jay Capone is family, bro. People seems like he has the personality of a person that was made fun of as a kid who had a skin condition, which he has. That's not even funny. That's just real. He probably did get roast for his skin complexion. Like, I mean, like that's just mean. That's not even funny. Come on, Rob, get it together, bro. Like, that's not even funny, man. Wow, I've been watching all season. I just realized I'm not a subscriber yet. Like, see, this is why I turned it on, man. You got to get it together. Southside Drewski's bananas. That's, it is what it is. Hayes, aka DJ Fair. No, see, now that's a good one. See, I'm glad I can motivate you to do better, bro. Like, that's crazy. All right, y'all. I love you guys, man. Let me go get ready to go do Locked On Bulls with Pat, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all the best people in the world, man. I seriously do mean that. Thank you for all the support and love. Hit that subscribe button, man. We're trying to get to 25K by the end of the season. We're about 22,000 away. It's probably not going to happen, but I love you guys nonetheless, man. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red, y'all, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.
See red, yeah.